Okay, so the question I wanted to ask you was, if a machine can beat a world-class player at the game of Go and receive an honorary 9 dan from, Korean's most prestigious or the oldest association, and they have the recognition and status to do so. It's like, okay, we saw you beat Lee Sedol I. It was a really brilliant game, and we learned so much from this machine, so we're going to give you the honorary level that you deserve. How do you feel about a machine replacing humans in these endeavors? Because Go technically was considered a game that you can't play with just logic. It's not like, oh yeah, he did this or she did that, so I'll just play it here. No, you have to have like a strategy, and there has to be somewhat of a hunch, and they use the word intuition. So you don't know exactly why you're making a move when you do it, but you have a big picture as you're doing it. And the reason why this intuition plays in a big role is because the possibilities that can happen in the game of Go is almost infinite. And no computing power, even all the computers in the world today, can compute all of the possible scenarios. It's not possible. So you can't compute every move and come up with the best number. That's impossible. So you have to make a decision. All right, I'm gonna hit here, attack here, and if I do so, then what's the possible scenarios? If I attack here, if I do this, what's the possible, does that make sense?
It's like chess.
But it is like chess, but the possibilities apparently is 300 times more. It's more broad, the possibilities that can happen, than chess, which is why chess AI beating a master chess player happened long time ago. It happened in the 90s. So a AI machine back then beat the world's chess player, and that was a huge big deal at the time.
That must have been embarrassing being beat by everyone.
But the guy who was beaten, now he's one of the very important figures in AI. So it turned out well for him. He's a smart dude, so he can find a job. He's going to be able to do stuff. But when he was known as the world's best chess player, obviously, it took a toll on him mentally when a machine beats him. But AlphaGo is a little bit different. Yeah.
You know how humans made robots?
Mm-hmm.
It's like how would because somebody would have manufactured it to make it like that, right? So then how would a robot be a human?
How would a robot beat a human if humans made the robots in the first place? The point of making robots is so that we can let it do the hard work that we don't want to do with minimum mistakes. The reason why humans made robots in the first place, they want to automate stuff and they want to make sure it does automatically so I don't have to worry about it, is so that I have less work to do. Does that make sense? So it had to come from a necessity. It's like, okay, we need this. Why? Because we don't want to spend all day, every day doing this. It's a lot of labor. So we'll just let a machine do it and crunch out tons of data that it would take us hours, if not years, and whatever to accomplish. The machines could do it way faster with less error. So that's why we need it. Yeah.
Is that guy who lost to the chess machine in the 90s? Is it Gary Kasparov?
It is. It is. And he's now a very important figure in AI, in game theory. So it worked out for him. It was an embarrassment for his sake, like at the time, but life goes on. Now, AlphaGo is a little bit different from Gary's situation in that AlphaGo was made using a technology that involves the machine learning on its own. Before, when IBM created the AI that beat the chess master, they had a group of experts saying, if this happens, let's do that. They defined everything. They made sure they covered all their tracks, and that's how they won. But in the game of Go, you can't do that. Like I said, the possibilities are almost endless. So there's not enough computing power in the world to calculate every single little instance. So you have to make decisions as to where you want to go, and the machine is making that decision on its own. That's the significant part. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind.